Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Maddie's Rap, the show where our focus is on the enhancement of mind, body, and spirit. And today, we're going to be talking about why it is so important for us to follow the advice of our spirit guides. But before we get into that, please allow me to introduce myself to those of you who are new to my channel. My name is Matt D. Talford, and I'm the author of a couple of amazing and award-winning books. First up, From Fear to Faith, a survivor story. A story which will illustrate to you in very vivid detail how mindset can help you to overcome the absolute worst of circumstances. And then there's the wildly popular Stuck in an Elevator, a tale of passion and, more importantly, self-discovery that takes place high above the Los Angeles skyline. Now, you can find out more information about those two books at the end of this video and in the links in the description box below. So now, again, welcome back to my returning subscribers and those of you who've been rocking out with me since Maddie's Rap first kicked off in the summer of 2019. And to those of you who are new to the channel, I hope you like what you're going to watch here. And if you do, hopefully you will leave a comment about today's show in the comment box below the video, okay? And then hopefully you'll share the channel. Hopefully you'll give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you'll hit the subscribe button. And more importantly, hopefully you will share this video and the channel with people that you like to converse with. Because what we talk about here, what we talk about on this channel are topics that people like to talk about, you know, in the privacy of their homes or when they're hanging out. Now, for those of you that watch all of my videos, you'd notice that today I'm wearing sunglasses and I'm inside. Well, there's a quick story. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I went to bed kind of late and I had to pop a melatonin because triggering certain biological processes that are necessary or for which melatonin is necessary. I wanted to make sure I got that in. Typically, melatonin gets released in your body after about 4 hours of deep sleep. And I knew I wasn't going to get 4 hours, so I was like, all right, well, let me force it with this melatonin. So not telling you to do what I do, just explaining to you why I got the shades on today. My eyes are very red, okay? They're very red today, and I've about had it with Visine. I don't think that stuff can be good for you over the long haul, so I just said, you know what? With this fluorescent orange hoodie that I'm wearing today, my eyes look more red than they really are. So I got the sunglasses on because I don't want my mom hitting me up talking about, boy, you need to get in the bed. Why are your eyes so red? You staying up late? Mommy, I know you don't talk like that, so don't call me and get on me, okay? All right, y'all. Enough of the pleasantries. Let's get back onto today's topic. Why it's so important for us to listen to the advice or to follow the advice of our spirit guides. Now, for those of you who follow my channel, you know I do a lot of scripture edition Maddie's Rap episodes, and the thing that I wanted to really focus on here in 2022 is to put the spirituality back in the scriptures. Not that it was ever removed, not that it was ever taken out. I just think that it was craftily hidden inside of religion, okay? Religion came in and showed you or got you to look the other way with regards to what the real power in scripture is. The Bible, the Holy Scriptures, whatever you want to call it, the Bible is a spiritual book. It is not a religious book, okay? There are a number of entities around the world that have framed religion out of these scriptures, and they focus on certain things and other things they look past. I'm here to get you to see those things that they look past, because those things are the things that are going to benefit you more than the same rewatched stories that you hear over and over again on Sunday morning and in Wednesday night Bible study. So, spirit guides. What are spirit guides? Some people call them angels. Some people call them ancestors. Some people call them the Most High Himself. Okay, take whatever resonates. Another spirit guide is actually your higher self. So we're not just our consciousness. Okay, they're really like three consciousnesses that make up who we are on the soul level. You have your consciousness, which goes with your physical body, the things that you see, the things that you experience. That's your consciousness. You have a subconscious. Those are your thoughts, okay? Those are your thoughts and your intuitions to a degree. And then you've got your superconscious, which is your higher self that already knows the game. Your superconscious is like the greatest part of you. And that's part of your spirit team as well. So You guys can look some of this stuff up. I'm not going to, this video, the intention of this video or the purpose of this video is not to do a deep dive into what spirit guides are. You guys can look that stuff up on your own. Today, I want to tell you why it's so important that you listen to them. Now, what are them? Sometimes we go out about in our lives and we hear things, oh, something told me this, or something told me to do blah, 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 or God told me to do blah, 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 or I'm not saying that God didn't tell you to do it. Listen, I'm a believer just like a lot of you watching this video, okay? I've spent, again, I know I say this ad nauseum, but I spent on average 12 hours a week in church from age 4 to about age 16. And it's probably before age 4 because, you know, when you're a baby, your mom got you in tow on Sunday morning. So I'm sure it was from birth through age 16, but age 4 is about as far back as I can remember vivid details about certain things in my life and experiences, whatever. So however you want to label your spirit guides, however you want to consider them, be it a voice, be it your higher self, your super conscious, your angels, your ancestors, the voice of the Most High, and when you've been spiritual long enough, you know you start to get you start to pick up on the differences, the subtle differences. You know when the voice of the Most High is talking to you. You know when one of your angels is talking to you, and somehow sometimes the voices of our ancestors that are gone on, like our ancestors that we know, our predecessors, aunts, uncles, parents in some cases, grandparents in other cases, whatever. Their voices are distinct to us. Not that you hear them audibly, but they occur to you. So enough on what the spirit guides are, what make up those spirit guides. Let's break down three reasons why it is so important to listen to our spirit guides. Okay. Reason number one, we all exist in a realm of linear time and can only typically see things sequentially. What does sequentially mean? One after the other, okay? Conversely, our spirit team exists outside of linear time, and therefore they see all the possibilities and outcomes of our decisions, okay? So that's reason number one that we need to listen to our spirit guides. Now, let me give you an example. Let me break that down a little bit for you. We exist in the realm of linear time. We do. If you're watching this video, you probably can look down at your watch or at the clock on the computer or your phone or tablet or whatever and see what time it is, right? Okay, that's linear time. I'm looking at the clock right now. It says 1:41 p.m. That means in a number of seconds, it's going to be 1:42, okay? That's linear, sequential. 1 minute after the next, 1 second after the next, okay? The realm that we came here from, the realm of souls, the realm where our spirit guides exist, there's no time, there's no clocks, there are no second hands, minute hand, hour hands, there's no sun, no moon, none of that, okay? Time does not exist. It's eternity, okay? So let me give you an example, a real world tangible example on what I mean by that. Raise your hand if you've ever played the board game Monopoly. I have. I dominate Monopoly, by the way. I dominate in it. So you come get it, all right? All right, enough of that. Actually, I got my butt handed to me the last 3 times I played, and one of those 3 times I was the first one out of the game, but it is what it is. Let the chips fall where they may, right, or the dice. Anyway, Monopoly. Picture playing Monopoly where you actually do not have a top-down view of the board, okay? Picture playing Monopoly where you are that car or that shoe or that thimble or the man on the horse, okay? Those are 4 pieces that I use all the time or whatever when somebody doesn't take the piece I want first. Okay, so you know that you're sitting there on go when the game starts. You have to roll the dice, and then whatever the dice falls on, say it falls on 7, you have to move that thing 7 spaces forward. Well, picture playing Monopoly where you don't have that top-down view. All you see is your vehicle and then the space right in front of you. Well, what our spirit team, our spirit guides, they're from their perspective, they see the entire board. Now, picture Monopoly where you actually aren't rolling the dice and getting whatever chance, whatever the dice falls on, but you're actually able to select the number of spaces you want to move. But you can't see the whole board, you only see the space in front of you. So you say, you know what, let's use the number 7, I just talked about that. I think I want to go forward 7 spaces. Well, that might work early on. But as that game develops, you know that certain people, your opponents, they start to own different spaces, different properties, whatever, and you can only still see that space that's in front of you, okay? Now, I know that this is sort of an abstract example, but stay with me. Your spirit team knows that, okay, they know how much money you have, They know how many times you've been around the board. They know that your purpose is to win, so they're trying to help you win the game. And they know that, your next time around, you've just passed go, you got $200, whatever, added to whatever you got, dished out to you at the beginning of the game. And then you want to move forward. Okay, I think I want to move forward 11 spaces now. Well, guess what? Somebody else owns that spot in that 11 space, and it has hotels on it, okay? Your spirit team is like, don't roll an 11, roll an 8, okay? But you're like, something's telling me to roll an 8, man, but I want to roll an 11. Two scenarios. One, you roll that 8, you say, you know what? I better listen to my gut and roll this 11, all right? Or roll this 8. You roll that 8, boom. You just landed on a property that nobody owns and you got enough money to buy it. Now you can buy that. That's scenario 1. Scenario 2, something telling me to roll this 8, man, but I'm going to roll this 11, man. I'm feeling good about 11. And then you get this occurrence again. Nah, don't roll that 11. Don't roll that 11. Roll an 8. Roll an 8. Nah, man, I don't want to roll an 8. If you had rolled that 8, you would have landed on community. You'd have landed on a spot that you could own or buy, or you might have landed on community chest. Your spirit team knows the next card that's up on that community chest. So you land, if you had rolled an 8, you would have landed on community chest, okay? Or they might give you a choice. Say 8 is a spot that you want to buy, but they also say, well, you know what? If you don't want to roll an 8, roll a 7. But you stuck on 11. You had rolled that 7, you got the community chest card. Guess what? That community chest card says collect this amount of money from every player on the board. But you missed out on your blessing because you didn't listen to your spirit team. Your spirit team's trying to help you win the game, all right? So that's just one example using the game of Monopoly, all right? Your spirit team exists in a realm outside of linear time. When you're in linear time, you only know maybe one move ahead. People say, well, I'm planning 1 move, I'm planning 2, I'm planning 3, 4, 5 moves in advance. Yeah, that's good to do. But we've all heard the joke, show God, or the Most High, however you want to label it, show God your plans and he'll laugh at you, right? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't plan, but what I'm saying is sometimes you think you know what you're trying to do or trying to get into, and something is telling you otherwise. Something telling you either don't do this and you decide you want to do it, or something says do this and you decide you don't want to do it. And it's like, oh man, I should have listened. How many times have we said, man, I should have listened to my mind? It wasn't your mind, it was your spirit team. It was your spirit team, okay? It was your spirit team. All right, now, so let's move on to the second example. Remember, the importance of following the advice of our spirit guides. Number 1, we exist in a realm of linear time and can only see things sequentially. Our spirit team, they can see the whole of everything. And I'm going to get more on that when I get to point number 3. So that was point number 1. We exist in linear time. Our spirit team exists outside of linear time, and they can see all possibilities. All right. I think I gave away number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, incarnation, or life as we know it, is all about purpose, not time, because time doesn't exist. All right. Time is simply an odometer and a speedometer that goes with this vehicle or these bodies, okay? Time allows us to gauge the speed at which we move through this life, and it also allows us to gauge, it is also a gauge that tells us how many miles we have on this vehicle. How old are you? That's how many miles you got on the vehicle, okay? Now, let me break this down a little bit. So again, point number 2, incarnation is all about purpose, okay? Life, okay? We call it incarnation, or you can call it life. I like incarnation because we incarnate multiple times. Sometimes people are still in this closed-minded religious view of life that says you live one time and then you spend eternity in heaven or hell. That is so not true. That is so not true. It was documented in times of old, and the religious establishment decided, hey, we want to take this out because if people knew that they live forever or they die and come back again, then we won't be able to control their behavior, and they'll do whatever they want to do, or they may challenge our authority. All right. I got a book recommendation for you guys. I'll talk about at the end of this video. It is not my book. I'll tell you about it at the end of this video, but it kind of supports what we're talking about here, particularly in chapter 3, and I'll give you a little bit of that. Okay. So getting back to incarnation and the fact that time does not exist, and we are here for purpose, not time. Now, well, Matt, you just said that, time is an odometer that allows us to gauge how many miles we have in this vehicle. Well, everybody's going to die at some point, right? Right. That is correct. Okay. But the key is we don't know when. All right. So to give you the best example, let me explain a concept to you that you may or may not have heard of. It's called soul contracts. Soul contracts. Okay. Let me develop that a little bit. Let me give you because you may not have heard of soul contracts. Let me walk it back and break it down. Let me break those into smaller morsels for you. Okay. School, high school. Now I can't speak for how school works in other countries. I can only speak for the United States of America where I grew up. Okay. You know that when you're in high school, middle school, whatever, you get to choose. There are certain classes that are prerequisites that you have to take based on the grade that you're in or the grade that you're going to next year. But then there are other classes that you can choose to say, okay, well, this is how I want to fill out my school day or my school year. They're called electives, okay? So there are things that you have to do, and then there are electives, things that you get to do, okay? Things that you have to do, prerequisites, and things that you get to do, electives, all right? You choose those electives heading into the next school year. So before you get into the next school year, at the end of the current school year, you say, okay, I want to sign up for me, for example, Spanish 1. And I want to take a class in world history. I don't have to take it for my prerequisite, but I want to take a class in world history. And let's see, chorus is not necessary, but I want to take chorus because I like to sing. And then let's see, I also want to take weightlifting because I want to put on some more muscle. All right, those are 4 electives that I've chosen for the next year. All right, so when I show up the next year, this is my schedule. Soul contracts works the same way. Your soul exists in the realm of souls, as I like to call it, or it exists outside of time. So when you check out of this vehicle and you check in, you get graded on how you performed in that vehicle that you just left, okay? That end of the year report card, okay? There are any classes that you pass, hey, good job, you passed that. This is what you had to do and you did it. This is what you signed up to do and you knocked that out too, okay? Now, I won't talk about the karma piece because if you develop any karma during that school year, then you got to pay that karma on that next school year. All right, we're not going to talk about that. Talking about soul contracts. All right, and I'm going to give you guys a link to a video that I saw in January of 2021 that actually helped me to understand this because I had never heard of the concept prior to that. After I watched that video, it made so much sense to me. So, your soul. Now you're like, okay, well, what do I want to do in my next lifetime? You get to choose so many, your soul chooses so many aspects of what your next existence is going to look like, and then you jump into it, okay? You jump into it when you incarnate, okay? So, you have a purpose. You have a purpose. Now, I've got to imagine or think that part of that includes the amount of time you want to spend in that vehicle, all right? The amount of time. So guess what? When you're born, your memory of what you signed up for, whatever, is erased. You start fresh, you're a baby, whatever, you come in knowing nothing, though your soul remembers certain things. Your soul remembers certain things. This is why babies, these babies come out and they're like, man, this kid is a maestro, can play the piano, whatever. 3-4 years old. How do they do that? Soul memory. Soul memory. They did it before. Nobody taught them how to play. They did it before. Okay? Some people say that this person was gifted. This person was gifted. They were gifted over lifetimes of learning how to do this. And it's something they love to do and they're good at. So their soul remembers. That's a little body there, but the soul is bigger than that body, right? Anyway, so you don't know how much time you got, but your spirit guides do. They know because they're in the realm where that contract is. They're able to look at that contract and say, well, man, they're supposed to leave the earth at age blah, 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 and they haven't done this yet. Let's make sure they do this. All right? So that's number 2. Incarnation is about purpose. So their job is your spirit guides are there to help you achieve your purpose. All right? Now, they have a job to do just like you do. So if your spirit guides they're getting graded on it. Did they help you or did they not help you? That's part of it too. This thing is so big, y'all, and they only teach us what they want us to know to be servants to somebody else's agenda or whatever. We weren't put here to just, this is so funny. This goes back to, this is as an aside, but this goes back to an explanation I gave to someone on why I left a six-figure job in 2013 in corporate America to be an author, okay? And my answer was this. I said, well, you can either be a servant to man or you can be a servant to mankind. I had served a man, different men, different corporations, okay, different straw men, if you understand that terminology. I had served different straw men for 20 plus years. And I'm like, I don't have it in me to do this anymore. There's something else I was created to do. And this does not feel like it. It doesn't feel like me going in, swiping my badge, going to work, putting in, knocking out whatever the task list is, and, getting a paycheck on the 15th and the last day of the month. Sizable paycheck, but getting a paycheck on the 15th and the last day of the month. I can't sit behind these walls and look out that window. There's something outside that window that I'm supposed to be doing. All right. So I explained that is you can either be a servant to man or you can be a servant to mankind. Okay. That was just an example, just an aside. So our spirit guides know how much time we're going to be here based on whatever is in our contract. How much time were we assigned here, or did you sign up for? However you want to look at it, however it resonates. All right. So they have a job to do, and their job is to help us achieve that mission. It's like coaches on the field. That coach ain't throwing those passes. That coach ain't doing those that coach ain't pass blocking. He ain't run blocking. That coach ain't the point guard. He's not the center. But that coach has got a job to do. That coach has got to help the ownership. Ownership, if you want to talk about the Most High, let's look at it in those terms. Ownership wants a championship, all right, for the whole organization, all right? So they go out and get the best players they can get, but they also get the best coaches. That coach has a job to do. Are you coaching these people to the best of their ability so that they can win? And then number two, those players have the job to do. Are you executing based on what the coaching staff is telling you to do? If you're losing the game, but you're not following the instructions of the coaching staff, you either are going to get benched or traded. And you're losing, and it's your fault because you're not listening to the coaches. Now, if the coaches aren't doing their job and you're doing the best you can, then the coaches got to get dealt with by ownership. Those coaches are your spirit team. So their job is to help you win. They know how much time you're going to be here. So incarnation, all right, is about purpose. What is the purpose? What did I come here for? Incarnation is not about time in and of itself. Hey, I just came to show up on earth until I was 90, blah, 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 and then go. That makes no sense. Like, what did you come here to do? Time is a part of that contract, but you are here for purpose, not time, okay? All right? So that's number two. Incarnation is about purpose, or life is about purpose. It's not about time. And last but not least, number three, existence can best be, in my opinion, can be best illustrated as a flow chart. A flow chart. Who's seen a flow chart before? You got all these geometric shapes. You got circles, you got squares, you got triangles, whatever. They got different statements in them. A lot of them are what I like to call, I went to school to be a programmer, even though I didn't do it professionally. I went to tech school after I got out of the Army, wanted to, actually I was originally, a little about me, I was originally going to school to be a high school English teacher, and I decided that I wanted to go a different route and earn a little bit more money. There's a story about that. It's in my book, From Fear to Faith, a Survivor Story. In the earlier chapters, I explain that stuff. I won't get into detail about it. But anyway, part of programming is writing out a flow chart before you start to code. The flow chart is all about how is this program supposed to flow and what is the purpose of this program. The purpose is paramount. What is the purpose? That's the overarching umbrella for the flow chart. What is the purpose? That's the title. What is the purpose of this program? All right. And then at the bottom of that is the success of the program. Okay, boom. We achieved the purpose that we set out for. We achieved the purpose for which this program was written. Okay. In between that are a series of steps that need to be carried out in order to get you from the top. I should put a picture of a flow chart on the screen here to the bottom, which is completion. All right. Now, flow charts, keep in mind, keep this in mind because this is important. Flow charts are not about time. They are about purpose and achievement of a desired outcome. So you don't put a flow chart up that has a time frame on it. A flow chart is all about what are we supposed to, what are we seeking, what are we setting out to do, how are we going to get there, and here's what success looks like. That's all a flowchart is. Existence, to me, that's the best example or the best analogy I can give you for existence. All right? So let's talk about how flowcharts work. Flowcharts start here at the top. This is the overall purpose of this program. Flowcharts go with programs, okay? This is the overall purpose of this program. Now, this program, the first step one is this, all right? When we get to step one, did we get this or do we get this? If the answer to that question is yes, we did get this, then you progress down to the next step. If the answer is no, we didn't get that, then you got to go back and do something else again. And that flow chart continues to move like that through the bottom. When you hit success in one phase or one step, then you progress to the next. If you do not hit success, you got to loop and go back up again and figure out, okay, well, why didn't we hit success? Because we can't get to the next step until we successfully achieve this piece of it. All right? Now, again, going back to the birth example, we don't always know what we came here to do at birth. Sometimes you got to move through life and you're already programmed because your soul knows what you came here to do. Your consciousness, it's almost like the whole purpose of our being here is to align our consciousness with our higher selves, which is our soul, okay? Aligning our consciousness with our soul. Once you can make that connection and you're like, I know what I'm here to do now, life gets so much easier, all right? Some people think it gets more difficult. It doesn't. It gets easier because now you know why you're here and you can properly set that course. So for a little bit of time in our lives, it's like we're on autopilot. But then something happens. It happens in a lot of people's lives where it hits you what you're supposed to be doing. And then you have to make that decision. Do I want to do this or no? Oh man, what are sometimes people factor in, well, what are they going to say about me if I do this? Well, what are they going to say about Matt if he leaves a 6-figure job to be an unknown author who's not even represented? He didn't even sign with a big publishing company or didn't even go down that route. He just says, you know what, somehow my soul knows that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I think I got everything I need to do it. Let me go. It's not about the money. It's not about the time. It's about achieving the purpose for which I was sent here to do. When I published From Fear to Faith, a Survivor Story, I said to myself, if one person reads this book and gets inspired, and it triggers something, it triggers a mindset shift for them that saves their life, and in saving their life, they save their families. They sometimes by your surviving, you are saving an entire line behind you. You're saving an entire family unit just by your being there, okay? This is why you can't give up on life, because you don't know who's relying on you to win. You don't know who's relying on you to take that guide on and up that hill and plant it there, all right? You don't know who's relying on you to take that small beacon of light and light a huge torch that provides light for everybody, all right? So I said to myself, if one person reads this book and it triggers a mindset shift that says, hey, wait a minute, if that guy can do it, and this was his circumstance, then I can do it too. That's why I published From Fear to Faith, a Survivor Story. So it didn't matter to me if I sold 1 million copies or if I only sold one copy or gave it away to that one person that could pick that ball up and run with it and maybe show somebody else how he was able to overcome because, hey, I read this guy's story. He did it. He made me believe that I could do it. I did it. You can do it too. And it may not even be about, overcoming a physical condition. It might spark him on something else to overcome or show somebody how to win. So that's what it's about, all right? So that was my purpose. I was like, I don't care about this 6-figure job no more. I don't care about the expense account. I don't care about the corporate credit card. I don't care about any of that stuff anymore. That's not what I came here to do, all right? Flowchart. Now, watch this. And then I'm gonna illustrate this to you guys, and then I'm gonna get off of here. So remember what I said. If you don't do something in a flow chart, or if something doesn't work a certain way, you cannot progress to the next step, which leads you to the next step, which leads you to the next step, which leads you to victory. You can't progress to one step unless you meet a certain set of conditions, all right? You don't meet that set of conditions, you got to go back and do something again. But guess what? Your spirit team, they know what the flow chart is, they know what the mission is, they know what success looks like, so they're there to help guide you from one step to the next step, to the next stage, to the next stage, to victory, all right? Now, going back to the example in number 2, they also know how long you're going to be here. Your higher self knows how long you're going to be here. So they know that with each time that you have to reset and go back, how many more times is he going to get to do this? How many more times is she going to get to do this? Worst case scenario, you don't make it to the achievement of your mission. And then you leave here because your time expired on your contract. Well, guess what? When it's time to get graded, did you accomplish your mission? Well, no, I didn't. Okay, let's go talk to your spirit team. Why didn't they accomplish their mission? Well, we were telling them. Here's the record. Here's the record of us telling them to do this, and they were doing what they wanted to do. Okay, so it's not on you, spirit team. Hey, good job. You know what? Sally Mae, or Lil Johnny, you don't get to go to the next grade. Your soul does not get to ascend, all right? You can use the school model again. Our souls go through an eternal process of ascension. That's what it's all about. Ascension, moving from one to the next, okay? Sorry, you don't get to pick a new set of classes and circumstances. You got to go back and do this one again. Oh, and by the way, looks like right here you did this to this person and caused them pain or whatever, or you created karma. You created bad karma. Everybody has karma, either good or bad. You created bad karma because you went off script and it caused damage or pain to a situation. So you're going to have to pay for that karma, by the way, and you still got to go back and redo this thing again. So, I say this in a lot of my videos. Go watch that movie, Edge of Tomorrow. 2014. It was came out in 2014, starring Tom Cruise. Go watch that movie, Edge of Tomorrow. It's a great illustration of what I'm talking about here. So now you got to go back and do that same flowchart again. One thing I know about Matt D. Talford is I don't like to do anything twice, unless it's fun, But when it comes to work, this is why during my career working for other people, I never ever liked jobs that were non-salary. Why do I say that? Because salary positions typically come with projects, all right? I get to knock out a project. I get to achieve something. I get to knock out a project. I'm not at work for a set amount of time. I'm at work to do something, all right? Because now I'm challenging myself. Okay, how much time does this typically take? This typically takes about 6.5 hours. All right, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to see if I can knock it out in 5.5 or 4 hours. That's how I roll, because I want the rest of my time to play. I work hard so I can play, all right? I know some people, work is play for them. I'm not going to talk about a certain lady who's probably watching this video right now. She knows who she is. But for some people, work is play. Nah, not for me. Work is something I want to know. I won't eat. If I'm in the middle of knocking something out, I won't eat. I got to get it done. I don't care if I'm hungry. I'm not stopping, because when I stop to eat, eating is my time. I eat, of course you got to eat for nourishment, but I enjoy eating, and I like to relax when I'm eating, and I don't like to be rushed. So I'd rather finish my work and not even eat until my work's done. That's how I'm built. So I never did jobs where I had to clock in. It's like, okay, my first job out of the military was working as the ER nurse tech. There from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Dang, man, I got to be here for 8 hours doing the same thing every day, 5 days a week. Every other weekend I'm here doing the same tasks. Man, get 30 minutes for lunch. It's just, if there's an emergency situation going on, I get that 30 minutes for lunch, or I may have to take it on the back end or whatever. Man, I hated clocking in. Now, some people like clocking in. Some people like being there for a certain hour. They like, okay, man, I got to be here 8 hours. Maybe they'll let me work an hour overtime, 2 hours overtime. That's not me, to each his own, okay? So, anyway, enough about me. Getting back to my point, projects. If you don't knock out that flow chart, you got to go and do that again. Your spirit guides, your spirit team, they're here to help you get through that and progress through that so that you get to ascend, all right? So, I just gave it to you. 3 powerful reasons why you need to listen to your spirit guides. Why it's so important for us to follow their advice. Number 1, because we exist in a realm of linear time, all right? Sequential, one thing after the next. We're in the forest and we see one tree, one tree, one tree. Okay, keep going through the forest till you get out. Okay, well, there's another tree. There's another tree. Your spirit guides, they see the whole forest. They're like, nah, go left here. Go left. If you keep going straight in 200 meters, you're gonna hit a ravine with some water down in the bottom of it. Don't even go there. That's gonna take you time. You ain't even got to deal with that. Just go left. You go around here. There's a swing bridge you can walk across. Cut your time in half. Boom. Listen to your spirit guides. We exist in a realm of linear time, so we can only, some of us think that we're thinking 3 and 4 moves ahead, but it's still linear. It's still linear. Your spirit team, your higher self, the Most High, they all see the entire board, okay? They see everything. They see all of the possibilities, all right? You can do it the easy way by following them, or you can do it the hard way where you get scuffed up, beat up, scraped up, and then got to come right back to where they told you to go left, but you went right. Now you're back there. Now which way you going to go? You going to go left now? Okay, good. We could have done this a long time ago. I got to sit here and wait on you now. You don't know what they doing in the spirit realm. They might want to go chill. There might be an ethereal beach somewhere that they trying to get to, and they trying to get you to help them get there faster, but you bull jiving. All right, number 1, we exist in a realm of linear time. They do not. They see all of the possibilities, and their job is to guide you in the best possible possibility to get the best outcome, to get the outcome that you are contracted for. Number 2, all right, incarnation is about purpose, all right, soul contracts. I'm going to put that link in the bottom. All right, the video titled Soul Contracts, The Life We Chose Before Birth. All right, so number 2, incarnation or life is all about purpose. It's not about time. Okay, your spirit guides are here to help you to achieve your purpose in a set amount of time that you're assigned to be here. All right, in a set amount of time that you're assigned to be here. All right, now, and everybody's time is different. Everybody's time is different. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I talked about in another video, one of the reasons why the Messiah came to earth to be a sacrifice. Some people, there are different theologies out there and stuff like that. I do believe in the story of the man they call Christ. I like to call him the Messiah, okay? The messenger. I like to call him the Messiah, okay? I talk about this a lot, okay? One of the reasons for the death and subsequent resurrection was to illustrate that you die and then you live again. It was an illustration of a spiritual principle, an energetic principle, an ethereal principle, okay? Your soul is just a vehicle. This is what he was talking about when he said, if you destroy the temple, I'll build it again in 3 days. They didn't know what he's talking about. He didn't point to himself when he said temple. He said, you destroy this temple, I'll build it again in 3 days. He's probably standing in front of the temple when he said that just to throw him off a little bit, throw him off the scent. It's like, man, this man, he ain't working with a full deck of cards. It took how many years and how many men to build this temple? You gonna build it in 3 days if it gets destroyed? Man, get out of here. I got 2 or 3 videos talking about that, breaking that down. All right, but no, he came to die and be resurrected to illustrate that you live again. Otherwise, why even be resurrected if he was just supposed to be a sacrifice? When the sacrifice is killed, the purpose for the sacrifice is fulfilled. Why bring it back? Unless you're trying to illustrate another point. Hey, I just took you guys around the block to get you to the house next door. That's what I do. Number 3, third reason, existence is a flow chart. Existence can best be illustrated by a flow chart. You're here to serve a purpose, all right? When you move, when you fulfill one sub-purpose, you get to go to the next sub-purpose. Each of these sub-purposes stack to get you to the bottom of which is the fulfillment of whatever that higher level purpose was. So hopefully I've got a flow chart on the screen by the time I upload this video and you guys can kind of see an example of that. But that's it. That's it. So in summary, in closing, we are not here for time. We are only here for purpose. And our spirit guides are here to help us. They exist to help us achieve our purpose. All right. So why don't we help them by doing what they're trying to tell us to do? All right. They're here for our highest and best good. We got to listen to them. All right. I gave you the examples. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, talk about it in the comments. All right. Everybody's got something to offer. Talk about it in the comments. Listen, guys, I'm an award-winning author, and I love it when people read what I wrote and ask me questions about it, and or share stories of how it helped to change their lives. So please check out my work. There are links in the description box below. You can find all of my books either at my website, www.talfordarts.com, or you can find my books on Amazon.com, and they're also available in digital format, audiobook from Fear to Faith, A Survivor Story, and then from 4 From Fear to Faith, that's a tongue twister, a survivor story, and Captain's Mate, and Stuck in an Elevator. All 3 of those are available in ebook format. So the only audiobook is From Fear to Faith. The rest of them are available in print and ebook. So thank you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys rock. You mean the world to me. I'm doing what I do for you. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You show it. Peace, y'all.